Good afternoon and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is January 1st, 2025. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here with
Ringer Jr.
we are broadcasting our first edition of Ringer Sports Studio of the year for 2025. Probably haven't seen us over the last few weeks. We haven't been broadcasting on our YouTube channel. It's been a very busy December, so we haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to zone in and focus in on getting some videos done. But we're going to kick it off with the new year on a little bit of vacation break here. We're going to kick things off and give you guys a quick recap over the last little bit, as well as pick a couple of picks today. As I said earlier, father-son duo talking about sports, Major League sports, professional sports, NBA, college basketball, college football, NFL, Major League Baseball. Obviously not right now, but throughout the summer season and all the major sports we like to talk about, sides, totals, props, team totals, you name it. We're talking about it, and we like to share what our favorite picks are for each and every day when we do our videos. So we'll try and get on as frequent as we can each and every week, at least once or twice, if not three times. But we're winding down to the NFL season, coming down to Week 18. A lot of things up for grabs for some teams there. We're into the college playoff bowl games, which is heading into the quarterfinals here today. We got three games heading to the semifinal there next week, and obviously the bowl games have been ongoing for the last month or so as well. So there's a lot of different action going on. But we're going to give you a quick recap of what we finished from our future picks for NFL and college, and give you an update on our 5% plays, and then I'll let Ringer Jr. He has a couple of picks he wants to take today, and I'll share the picks that I have running for today with very little analysis that I've already taken earlier in the week. So just giving you a quick update on our futures. I know I've did a separate video on this not too long ago, but we had a combination of about 37 future bets or future picks that we have between college football props, totals, as well as NFL. Mostly those two combined. Right now, we're currently sitting at 19 and 16, which is 54.3%. We've had a couple of tough losses. Looking at the college, from a college perspective, we had Miami to win the ACC and also make it into the Final 12. Obviously, that big loss to Syracuse really hurt us. That was a 5-1 bet that we placed, so that kind of hurt us. But if you look at our percentage plays, we did really well on our higher percentage plays. The biggest losses were on our 2% plays, and most of those were actual long shots. Like I said, the Miami to win the ACC. We had Dart to win the Heisman. We had Utah to make playoffs. Memphis. So a bunch of the 2% plays. We went 2-9 for 18%. So not that great. Our 3% plays were 9-4 for 69%, and our 4% plays, which is where the bread and butter is we finished at 7-2 for 78%. We did have a 5% play on Atlanta Falcons to go up and over 9.5 wins. Of course, that didn't happen with their loss last week to Washington. If they had beaten Washington with that game-winning field goal, then they would have been playing for their 10th win this coming week. Still an important game for them, but it booted us out from our 5% play of getting them up and over 9.5 wins. But so far, so good. We've got two more pending ones. We need Bowers not to get a touchdown in the Vegas game. We had him under 4.5. He's sitting at 4. He's been there for the last, I think, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. So hoping that one comes in. And then we've got the big game, Detroit and Minnesota. We got Detroit as a future to win the NFC North. Of course, Minnesota's been holding strong. So big game this week. If we get that one in, that's also a 4% play. That's going to get us about 2.3 to 1 odds that we had at the start of the season. And if we can get there, that'll round out our overall total of 21 and 16, which will get us right to 60%, which is pretty good. So anyways, lots of updates on that front. Want to give you guys an update on our 5% plays. We've made a couple of 5% plays in the last week with some college games. Had taken a little bit of a break on our 5% plays as we were quite heavy on them, and we had too much quantity versus quality, so we took a little bit of a break, and we're really seeking on some good 5% plays. Finishing right now on the season at 39 and 22 for a 64% play on our 5% play. So really strong performance there. We did have it up over 80% at one time, and then digressed a little bit for our 5% plays, but still very strong, up and over that 60+% mark, which is the minimum goal we like to focus in on with our picks. And then just rounding out the year, we've We've been kind of up and down in the year so far. It's been a kind of a yo-yo season. We had a really strong summer with Major League Baseball performing extremely well, up and over 65% on our Major League plays, mostly on our mostly on the Nerfies, no run first inning props, where we found a niche there, and we've really been hammering that all summer. Got a little bit of carried away and had a very rough August, but leading up to August, it was very profitable for us. We took a little bit of a fallback in August and then picked things back up in September. And then overall for NFL and college football, you know, the favorites in NFL has been winning at a very high percentage. So a lot of the public plays and money has come in. We typically don't necessarily follow the public regularly. It usually balances out as the year goes on, but the public had been doing extremely well this year. So we had a really tough back half of the season in middle of November and into the first part of December. But I'm happy to share that we're actually up 83% in our last 5 weeks. So basically for the entire month of December, we've been able to grow to 83%. But that's coming off a very dismal 6-7 weeks prior to that. So anyway, at the end of the day, it all balances out. I think we're up 6% on the year from what I recorded earlier today. So small wins. And then if you look at our futures, as I mentioned, if those two futures can come in later, I guess this weekend, then we'll be up a profitable 21% on our initial investment if those two come in, which we're hoping to. So not too bad on the futures. And of course, our 5% plays, as I mentioned, are tracking very well. So it's been an up and down year. We've had some good wins, some bad ones. And right now we're pretty consistent each and every week. We've been profitable for, let me just check here. We have been profitable for the last 4 out of 5 weeks. We've been showing net wins for 4 of the last 5 weeks. So 80% of the time we're showing profit, which is good. A little bit of catching up to do from our previous stuff, but it's a new year. It's January 1st. We're going to kick things off, hopefully, with some fun. I don't know, Jude. I think maybe before we jump into your picks, I thought maybe we could share what things we kind of learned in 2024 from our picks, our sides, things that we might have learned from that we might not want to do in 2025. Any comments?
Definitely no more parlays. That's definitely one of them. One that I like to say is don't bet on the Cowboys. Something I do not like to do anymore. I mean, they haven't really had the best season, and us as Cowboys fans haven't really been betting on them too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something we didn't, it's not something we focused in on, but that's a good one. Obviously, parlays, those are the fun things that we like to do from time to time, but they would call that as the degenerate special is the public folks that are spending all their hard-earned money and investments on the parlays, and it's very difficult, hard enough to pick a single game, let alone more than one or two or three or four or five games. We've had some success with it, but usually you're not, and that's where you're going to give it all back. So if you're doing extremely well on the singles, and doing well there, 55 to 60+% on your picks, and your 5% picks are 65%. Makes no sense to do any parlays. You're just going to end up giving it back. And there definitely were a few times throughout the year that we invested too much into parlays, looking for that long shot, which we're just amateurs here trying to do well and stuff we enjoy. So something we'll definitely take away. I also think that we ran into a situation where we were trying to find too many 5% plays, got carried away on 5% plays. We were following a lot of trends. Trends are meant to be broken, especially in college football and NFL. Team totals were working out very well for us, but we were going back to the well a little bit too much with the same team. It's a matter of time before that doesn't happen. So that's definitely the case that happened with us as well. And of course the quantity. So having too many plays in action each and every day. I know some top handicappers do a lot of quantity, a lot of volume, and a lot of really good ones are doing low volume and very looking at the analytics and the stats and trying to find the angles that are going to be profitable for them. So I think in 2025 we're going to be looking at more of that angle, looking at less amount of picks but quality picks, more 4 and 5% plays, less maybe 3 and 2% plays. But we'll have a look and see. We'll have to come up with a nice strategy. we're really trying to find a niche of something that's going to work for us. Team totals was something that we found for our 5% plays that was working quite well. In Major League Baseball or Nerfies is something that we found. A lot of people have caught on to that as well. Um, and just generic player props. It's not all about sides and totals. My favorites are totals for sure, but looking to try and find that niche. So, anyways, it's been a great 2024 for us. I know Ringer Jr. and I have had a blast doing our videos. We're looking to have some pretty good success in 2025, and again, strategizing on what the right approach is going to be. So, lots of research is in play. I think the last thing is, we do follow a lot of people, professionals in this job, and we do a lot of reading and video watching, and oftentimes you may lean to their side or pick that they may take, but at the same time you feel differently because of another side or a angle or something that you saw or some historicals that kind of pushes you off that. And I think having the ability to pull off when you don't think it's the right side is also a thing that we're going to look at doing. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our picks. I'm just going to flash off what I have. I'm not going to give you an analysis. I don't want this video to be too long. I'll let Ringer Jr. go into his picks right after. But I'm taking Ohio State in the money line. Big play. Actually, it's a 5% play for us today. They're playing against the number one team in the country, Oregon. They lost to them very closely in the first matchup. I do think Ohio State, and I said it to Ringer Jr. probably a month and a half ago, that Ohio State was the best team in the country, and I still think they are. The lines moved from a pick 'em to 2.5 to Ohio State. We got them in at money line the first of last week, as soon as the schedule was made. I do think Ohio State's going to pull out the win here. We get that as a 5% play. Also looking at the Notre Dame Georgia game, which I think Ringer Jr. may have a side or pick on that one. Looking at the over 42 and a half, I do think Notre Dame is going to be able to score in this Georgia team. And I actually think, the backup quarterback for Georgia is going to be able to run the ball as well. And even though Notre Dame's run defense is really strong, I think he's going to be able to get back in the pocket. And they're going to be able to put up some points. I really think Notre Dame's going to win this one with ease, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure why Georgia's actually favored as much as they are, but I do like up and over the total of 42. And then I've also like Texas. I know this game's kicking off here in the next few minutes, but I also like Texas and Arizona State under 52 points. I do think this is going to be more of a defensive matchup. I think Arizona State's going to have a hard time scoring against Texas. I think this game's going to be into the mid 40s max. I do see Texas probably pulling out the win. Arizona State might be able to keep it close, but I see this being like a 27-20 type of game. I can't see Arizona State scoring too many points against the Texas Longhorns. Sorry, I said 42 and a half. I meant 45 and a half in that Notre Dame Georgia game. So those are the picks that I like today. We do have a bunch of other picks that are rolling into the weekend with NFL, but we'll tune in tomorrow as well and do another video. The other thing we want to mention is college basketball is going to start heating up now as the bigger professional sports, NFL and college football, slow down. College basketball will peak up. It's the right time to be looking into that as we approach March Madness. So stay tuned for that. We did well last year in March Madness as well. So stay tuned for that. I've talked enough. Ringer Jr., you got 2 minutes. You got keep this video under 15. You've got a couple of picks you want to review today, and I'll flip it over to you.
So with my first one here, I'm gonna look at Notre Dame on the money line against Georgia. Notre Dame is currently 1-point favorites. Georgia, I believe, was like 2.5 or 2 at the start of the week. But Carson Beck is not playing, and Notre Dame in their last 8 games is 7-1 ATS. In Georgia, in their last 12 games is 3-9 ATS. Those are a couple of reasons why I like Notre Dame on the money line here. And I mean, Notre Dame hasn't had as good of a schedule as Georgia has had, with Georgia playing, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas twice. But I do see Notre Dame with Carson Beck able to get the W, probably by a touchdown here. So I'm going to look at the Notre Dame team money line as a 4% play. And something else that we have looked at a couple of times in the past month or two has been Christian Braun over 12.5 points here. I'm going to take this one as a 4% play. He hasn't been doing as well as of late. I believe he's only gone over this in 5 of the last 10 games. But Aaron Gordon did get injured last game. Braun put up 20 points. And with no Aaron Gordon playing this year, Braun is 13-1 on this over 12.5 points. So He does get the ball a lot more. He's much more useful with no Aaron Gordon, and I see him probably putting 13 to 15 points up against this Atlanta Hawks team in a shootout game here. So those are my two plays: Notre Dame money line and Braun over 12.5 points, both as 4% plays.
4% plays. Yeah, Braun actually cashed for us a number of times. I think we had him 6 straight times that he can't cash. It was all when Gordon was out. So great find, Ringer Jr. on your pick here. And I do agree, Notre Dame. They're the better team than Georgia. I mean, Kirby Smart is a great coach. Yes, backup quarterback is in there, more agile. I'm gonna have to change the offense where Beck's not there. But Notre Dame, outside of that loss to Northern Illinois, they've been proven why they're where they're at. So I do think it's actually going to be a touchdown plus win as well. So we'll probably take that one. We will take that one as a 4% play as well. So there you have it. There's our picks for today. There's our recap for the year so far. Again, we're going to kick things off in 2025 with a bang. Yeah, if you do like the videos, please like, subscribe, share our YouTube channel. You can find us at Twitter, CollinRing12, or at Ringer Sports Studio. Again, father-son duo, enjoying what we do and having fun with it. Happy New Year, everybody. Good luck, like them, and cash them.